Hello and welcome to the Everyday Board Game Podcast with your host Daniel.
And Daniel.
Daniel, how you been? It's been a while.
Yeah, we were going to record last week, but you needed to finish up packing for your trip. So we actually took a week off, but we're still ahead. So
we're still ahead.
Our audio podcast listeners are not going to notice any difference.
No, but the thing is, like, at the beginning of the year, we were a little hairy on part of it.
Yeah.
But, it's all right. We're catching up. We're keeping up with our schedule. Mm-hmm. And we're going to make up for it, especially with today, with another episode of Board Game Brainstorm.
Hey, you remembered this time.
I know. I had to double check my notes.
Because last time you called our breakdown Chits and Giggles because you saw CNC.
Yep. I'm very confused, that's all,
What else is new?
Right. But no, I'm back, I'm refreshed, I'm ready to talk about stuff, but this one we're going to be breaking down, or doing a brainstorm for Seven Wonders Duel.
Yeah, and so the reason we're doing Seven Wonders Duel, it's an interesting story about this one, because normally we'll try to do the brainstorm of an Ascended game, because we just had our Ascension earlier in the month, and the Top 8 Debate Champions Edition. Carcassonne moved on. Mm-hmm. We can't do Carcassonne, because we've already done the Board Game Brainstorm of it, because it fell in the Spiel des Jahres era.
That's right.
So I was like, okay, let's move on to the next one. That was already put up there too. So I'm like, okay, so I had to go back to the most recent one that was in there. The fact that Seven Wonders Duel won twice last year. Yep. I figured might as well do Seven Wonders Duel because it was our highest seed that was left. And it was the highest seed because it was the number 1 seed. So I was like, all right, that's what we're going to do. And not knowing how hard this was going to be.
I want to say I'm going to put the blame on you because for once I didn't pick this one. Despite how difficult it was.
I didn't really get to pick it either. We just agreed that it was going to be coming from the champions.
Sure.
We just didn't expect Carcassonne to ascend. And, oh, wait, we already did that one.
Yeah, too late. Oh, well.
And so I was going to do the runner-up. Hey, guess what? The runner-up was already ascended, too.
Yep.
Trying to remember what the runner-up was. It's been a while, but yeah. But the two finishers, the finalists, have already been brainstormed, so we had to go with Seven Wonders Duel.
Wasn't it like Sushi Go?
Yeah, I think it was. No, it was Sushi Go because Sushi Go was our food one, and we did Sushi Go as of November's.
Yeah. So there it is. What it is.
Yeah.
But that's all right. We're going to be talking more about that later on. But before we get into that, as always with our board game brainstorm, Daniel, what have you been doing outside of gaming?
Baseball. Played it so far.
All right. Well, so let's carry on.
But anyways. Well, of course, we did the gardening. I talked about it last month. We were getting the garden set up. We got it set up, too. We decided on peppers. That's the other thing we're planning with cucumbers. We're doing green chili and jalapeno peppers. We're also doing spinach and lettuce, but we're growing them inside because my wife has a grow light in there for her plants. Because my wife has like a whole room just on the other side of this wall right here full of plants. So, but yeah, we're going to do that. But mainly, for me, it's been baseball. I have a baseball game in the background. When I'm editing, I'll have... And it's not just Major League, it's Minor League as well. Because I have... Because
you're
of my...
a massive Minor League fan.
Oh, yeah. I have MLB.TV, which also gives me MILB.TV by streaming it online. I can get online on my tablet and stuff like that. So, if I'm doing something in the kitchen or I'm cleaning the house, normally I listen to music. I'll just put a baseball game on.
Yeah.
I am planning a trip this year, actually, in June. And I'll be talking about it probably more in about a month or so, to Chicago to go see my favorite baseball team, the Chicago Cubs, play at Wrigley Field for the first time in my life. I've seen them practically anywhere that was close to us, but their own home stadium. So we are taking a trip up to Chicago to take care of that. I've been playing the MLB The Show on my PlayStation, having fun with that one as well. The most recent one, 225, I think is what it is. It could be 25, 26, something like that. But it's been fun. I've been liking what that's doing. It's kind of weird that they randomize the minor league home stadiums, and yet the Sacramento A's, Oakland A's, the Athletics are playing in a minor league stadium. I'm like, no. So I had to go and fix it and put that minor league team that is technically that stadium in that home stadium. I'm like, no, don't randomize them on a Bayfront Park or whatever. That's their home stadium. That's where they should be. Yeah. While the Athletics are waiting for their move to Vegas, their new stadium is going to be where the old which is the one that just got blown up, the Tropicana.
Yeah.
That's where their stadium is supposed to be situated.
I know because Murray Sawchuk, the magician who was performing there, he had to relocate.
Yeah. So they're taking over that lot supposedly. We'll see what happens. Yeah. They're still not everything has been planned out for sure. So they're supposed to be moving to Vegas. They're out of Oakland. Let's see what happens there. And my big issue this year though is because of MLB.TV. That is my big issue. I'm a Chicago Cubs fan. I live nowhere near Chicago, yet I've only been able to watch like 5-8 games live in the first month because they've been playing teams that we are somehow in their blackout range. Let me list the cities for you. San Diego, Dallas, Denver, Arizona or Phoenix, and what is the other one? Oh, Houston. All those 5 teams are blacked out for me. Yep. The closest one is 6 hours away.
Yep, 6-hour drive, and that's Phoenix. Yeah.
That's Phoenix.
And nobody cares about the Cardinals. I mean, let's be real. No,
it's not football. It's not football. You're not wrong about not caring about the Cardinals.
Wait, hold on. What is the baseball team over there? Hold on. The Phoenix, Phoenixes.
No, they're the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks, okay. Yeah, that's right.
Hey,
I was able to kind of sports ball for a moment, though.
And you're saying nobody cares about the Cardinals is actually correct because that is my team's rival is the St. Louis Cardinals. So you're not wrong about that. But yeah, that is my big issue is that the fact of the matter is I live in an area, I'm supposed to get all out-of-market games for my team, and I have 5 teams that are not relatively close to me blacked out. The other teams, we said Phoenix is close. That's 6 hours, right? Denver is 10 hours away. Arlington is 10 hours away. Houston is about 15 hours away.
No, it's not that bad.
It's not that close either. It's less. It's more than
12.
10. Yeah,
it's 12.
It's 12 or 13, depending on traffic. Once you hit Katy...
That's a day drive.
Once you hit Katy, Texas, you're in traffic for like 2 hours.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So yeah, you have that. And then not only that, San Diego's 10 hours away. Why am I blacked out for all of these people? So, only sport to watch is esport. I beg to differ. Mind you, I played baseball. I played sports growing up, so.
I don't disagree with that. I've been watching competitive Wikipedia speedruns. Oh, man. That's exciting.
That does not sound exciting
I
at
know
all.
It doesn't sound exciting. It's like competitive Excel and like all that stuff. Oh, it's so... Have you ever seen the People Make Game... I know I'm off topic, but so Quinn from Shut Up and Sit Down, right? He went to People Make Games and helped out with their channel, and their video game one. Exactly. And they did a whole episode about competitive Excel, and it's one of the funniest videos of anything I've ever seen. And he talked about how they would approach it and how they were doing it, and him and the main guy actually attempted one of the puzzles, and it's so darn fun to watch.
Yeah, the only
it's exciting
esports stuff I actually watch is Games Done Quick.
Oh yeah, I watch Games Done Quick too as well. I love it. Go support them. Always.
Yeah, I'll watch those. I like watching those.
I love speedruns.
Speedruns are real fun. I love watching the people who do the Pokemon speedruns because it's like, how in the heck can you get that done as short a time as you do, or the people who do the Mario 64 speedruns by using all the freaking glitches?
I like watching in Pokemon when they're doing the old school Pokemons where they know the path to RNG manipulate.
Yeah.
It's if I go through this bush, suddenly it's this random. Yeah.
So
how do you understand this?
That's the main esports stuff. I don't watch League of Legends or Overwatch or anything like that. I never was into Counter-Strike like a lot of people back in the day were. But no, I like watching Games Done Quick. I like watching speedruns. Those are always fun to watch. Mm-hmm. But other than that, the only video games I play is what I play on my system. There's a few people I'll watch. Quill18 is a guy I'll watch who plays a lot of Civ games and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Legitimately well. I'm I dabble in it and I'm fine at it as long as I don't go into these really hard difficulties. And he beats this game on deity, and I'm like, good God, man, I'm struggling over here on freaking Prince or not Chieftain, the what is it, King, or something like that.
No, not yet, Illuminous. I will soon. I don't have a printer. That's the problem, but I will. So yeah, no, there is one video game player that I do watch. I watch a few actually, but there's one that I go out of my way to watch. Well, two actually. There's Let's Game It Out, who just breaks things, which is ridiculous, right?
Go back into my the esports stuff. I do watch some esports because I do watch MLB The Show tournaments where people actually take baseball teams and play it.
Yeah, why not, right?
It's legitimately still baseball.
Oh, Pop World, okay. I don't know what that is.
Print to play.
Or PNP World, yeah. Oh, Cubes of Europe is awesome. That's an awesome solo print and play game. So good. But anyway, the other one that I watch is there's a YouTube channel called The Beast, THA Beast.
Yeah.
And he's like this younger guy. He's like in his 30s or something. But he's trying to beat every Nintendo 64 game. And he's on like number 204 out of like 394. And he's been doing this for like 10 years.
That's
and every single video he does, and he goes through a full breakdown and ranks it, and then he talks about how he beats it and all that stuff. So interesting. Gliders, Grip, and Decula. Okay. I've not heard of those.
So, what about your outside gaming?
My outside gaming. Let's talk about what you referenced at the beginning of the episode. I just got back from a trip Saturday night. Long flight. Took a while.
Orlando's not that long a flight.
Not from here, but when you have a layover in Denver, that's a bit longer.
Yeah, ours is out of Houston. We're supposed to be going to Orlando later in the year.
So on the way that we went Dallas to Love Field to Orlando. That wasn't bad at all.
Yeah,
that was like 4 hours total.
Yeah.
But on the way back, it was 4 hours just to Denver alone. And then we had the flight down to El Paso, which is like an hour or something, right? Hour
it's
15.
weird that your flights, you went through American, right?
No, Southwest.
Yeah, that's so weird because our two flights, our to and from, I think, are out of Houston.
Yeah, that would make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going American as well or no?
No, we're doing Southwest.
Southwest,
but we already bought our tickets. My wife had so many points that it only cost us like $400 for the both of us to fly to Orlando.
God, I'm envious. Anyway, but so. Great.
It's not as good as our Chicago flight, let me tell you. We only spent $25 for the both of us.
That's pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. No, but so while we went there, I went there because my daughter had her cheer competition.
How'd you do, by the way?
So in her group, there was 70 teams in her division.
Holy.
70 teams. The first day, you had to get through, like, it's basically like qualifiers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then the second day was finals. So you have to get invited back to finals. So with our city, with our cheer group, there was 4 teams. There's level 1 through 4.
Yeah.
And my daughter's on level 2, which was about 70 teams.
Yeah.
They placed about 12th place as the finals.
That's actually not bad at
Which
all.
is not bad at all.
From where we are,
Yeah.
we're kind of deprived when it comes to that kind of sports
Right,
area. Yeah.
exactly. But hear this. So our level 1 team got, I want to say, 6th place.
So level 1's the higher level, right?
No, level 1 is the lowest.
Okay, so it's the littles.
The youngest, the littles,
Yeah.
So level 1, it goes all the way up to 7, but we only do up to 4 in our city. But the level 1 got like 6th place. Level 3 got 3rd place. And level 4 got 2nd.
Nice.
They got silver. And what was even, and I got to give them props to this because we saw the competition. And, I don't know much about cheer and what happened, but I do know what happened on this one. They started their routine, and one of the girls was attempting like a backflip or a back handspring, landed wrong, and then they had to stop the performance. Was able to bring them on. Poor girl broke her ankle and tore one of her ligaments.
Ugh.
And
in her ankle or in her knee?
I think ankle. Yeah, broke her ankle.
No.
And so
that's surgery.
And I'm sure that hurt.
No,
right?
that's surgery.
and she went to the hospital. Obviously, they put a boot on her, and she came back that day and was cheering on the rest of the teams.
Good for her.
And right, like how incredible is that, right? And so she was being true to her cheer, right? Like, she was rooting them on. They subbed in a coach, and with that being said, they still got silver, right?
Nice.
And they were able to redo it, and I appreciate that cheer competition for allowing people, like if somebody falls due to an injury, if they have the ability to, they'll bring them back.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like that sucks, right?
Yeah.
And that's a dangerous sport.
It is.
Honestly.
It is a sport, people.
Yeah. Oh no, it's athletics now.
Yeah.
So bravo to them, and that was at the Orlando Convention Center, which is a massive place. And I've never seen so many cheerleaders in my life. It was insanity. there was thousands and thousands of people there, right? And so, but because we did that, we stayed at Orlando Studios, one of the resorts.
Yep.
And we had a 5-day pass.
I'll be staying there too.
Yep. Which one are you staying at?
I don't know. I have to check the records, but
I'll have to look because, you might be staying at the same one I did, and I can give you some recommendations. But
all I know is the one we're staying at has this place in there that has Superman ice cream, which makes my wife happy.
Okay, so it's probably not the one I was at, but that sounds awesome. So we went to Orlando Studios like most of the days, right?
Yeah.
And I got to give my wife props too, because she is very nervous about rides. She rode on like I want to say 4 or 5 rides.
Nice.
And she went on Jurassic Park,
the
big drop one, not the Velocicoaster,
the water
one.
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
She also went on like Howdy Doodies, like it was like a big raft, like a 10-person raft thing.
Okay, I like that one.
That was fun. Yeah, it was charming. We went on Harry Potter.
Yeah, the Howdy Doody one is the sleigh ride, right? The one where like you're in a log, because there's a different one
that's a Howdy Doody one.
Yeah.
I went on that one with my 2 kids, but no, she
the
went
raft
on,
one's cool. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was Popeye.
It's like
Popeye.
It's Popeye.
Yeah, and so when they have like the bag, like the cover up all your stuff. Right, that was super fun. Man, we were super soggy because we did all 3 water rides like back.
Did you do the? There was like dryers right outside the Howdy Doody.
We thought about it, but it costs money.
Me and the wife did it, and it worked well, especially because I hate wet socks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I mainly used it to dry my socks off.
That makes sense. Yeah. The people dryer is what they call it. Yeah, it's so great. And then the other rides that we went on, my wife also did the Harry Potter one. I forget which one it is. It's in the original Universal Studios.
No, I'm trying to think. There's 2 over there.
There's 2 over there.
Did they do the roller coaster? Or did they do the 4D experience?
We did like a 4D experience.
Is it the one where you're up and like doing this? Like, because there's a 4D one that instead of like you're in a...
I think it's just called the Wizarding World.
Because there is the Escape from Hogwarts is the 4D experience.
That's the one.
Because there's
we did that one.
There's also the Hippogriff ride, Buckbeak's Escape.
Yep, there's
which is where you're on a motorcycle. That one's really cool.
No, that's the Hagrid's.
Yeah, that's the Hagrid's Hut. Yeah, but you're basically running away with Buckbeak.
Yeah. Me and my son did that one.
That one's cool, right?
That one's crazy. Oh my god.
Did you do the sidecar or did you do the actual...
I was in the sidecar. Yeah, he wanted to be on the motorbike because he's a thrill junkie. He did the Hulk also. He also did... the
Hulk was shut down when last time I was there. So.
Yeah, he loved it. The bigger the better for him. He did the rocket roller coaster one, like the one that does like all the loops and plays rock music with it.
Oh yeah.
You know, we did the Simpsons, of course.
Did you do the Mummy?
I did. And actually, so here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
I really like that ride. It is different than the one in California.
Yeah, not much different, but is.
It's much different.
Really?
Oh, no, it's much different.
It didn't feel that much different to me when I was... Because I did both almost 2 years apart.
I did... Mine was less than a year.
Yeah.
So, my memory is better. No, it's not a competition. What am I saying? No, I mean, it had a lot of the same elements, right?
Yeah.
But one of the big things, and spoiler alert, I know... if you're a thrill junkie and you want to hear that, I'll explain that. But so the Revenge of the Mummy in California has a big section where you're going backwards, like a long time.
Yeah.
This one only had a quick like whoop, and then it's like, and then you turn around and then you drop and like stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Which it was still really good.
Yeah.
But I think probably my favorite was the Hagrid's one.
Like, it
got me a little queasy though.
I love that Hagrid's one. That's like my favorite roller coaster right now.
5 different times it just speeds you up to just an ungodly speed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That one's really cool.
But I got to give my wife props because she did about 5 rides with us. She did The Simpsons. She did that. We did E.T.
That one is so trippy.
E.T. is charming. You can tell that it's the oldest ride there.
I wouldn't say charming. Let's just say if you partake in certain pharmaceuticals, you would have a great time on that one.
Probably. If you're into recreational gardening.
Exactly.
No, I didn't know what to expect. I was like, it's a kid's ride. But you could tell that it's still from the 90s. You could tell that it was it's from the very first iteration. But that was the first ride we rode. It is one of the
oldest rides.
But it had some good fun.
It's a good thing you went to The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I think this is the last year of it. They were taking over that park.
So here's the thing about the Simpsons ride. Did you ride that one?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about that one?
I don't mind it. That was like one of the first 4D ones I did, and I'm glad I went to the other ones after I did that one.
Right. So I did the one in California, and the one that we did here, it was blurry. And I already got really badly motion sick on that. That was the only ride I got motion sick in California. So when I did it here, my eyes were closed half the time. Not because I was scared. I was like, eyes don't want to hurl. Exactly. Like, my family can be sick all they want because they're all going on it. But I'm like, I remember this. Yeah. It's not pleasant. So, good riddance. I mean, I love... the Big Boys Donut was amazing.
Did you do both parks or did you only do the one park?
We did both of those parks. We had a park pass. We didn't do Volcano Bay. unfortunately.
Well, that's the water park, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to, but we just didn't have time. And then we did both of the two main parks.
Yeah, because they haven't officially opened the new park yet while you guys were up there, because that doesn't open till May.
Yeah, exactly. But they do have a preview that we didn't get a chance to see.
Ah, okay.
But it is what it was.
So we're going in October. Or at the end of September, because we wanted to do that one, because we wanted to make sure that park was
really
open.
far away. Like, I mean, really far away. Like,
we're staying on site, so
no, I know, but no, like Universal Studios proper and the other park, like they're next door to each other, right? Yeah. And Volcano Bay is a little bit away, but not much. No, I'm talking Epic. The actual park is like a mile down the road.
Yeah,
like big.
Because of our park hopper thing, they have a way where you can connect to all the parks.
No, I know. I'm just giving you that heads up now.
Oh, we already knew.
Significantly farther.
Oh, trust me. I already know everything about it because my wife and our friend that we're going with have been studying everything.
They already knew what was going on.
Yeah.
No, it was good fun. That's the first time I'd ever been to that park. So now I've been to both Universal Studios, both Disney's in the U.S., so I liked it. But the other thing I got to give props to. So Lard Lad Donuts, awesome. Voodoo Donuts, awesome. We went to Bubba Gump, great food. Hard Rock Cafe, biggest one in the world.
Yeah, we were there. We didn't care much for it.
I had an incredible experience there that I'm going to tell you after the episode. It's not like inappropriate or anything. It's just, I don't want people going in with the wrong expectations.
Yeah.
But I got really lucky and got to experience something really awesome about that place.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, which I'll share with you after.
I can't wait. We're supposed to be going, I think it's like actually it's the week of my wife's birthday. So I'm going with my wife and our friends that we play games with. Mm-hmm. Both my wife and our friend the Mel, his birthday is at a day apart, so we're going for basically their birthdays now. We're going to be up there, and so we're doing 3 days at Disney and we're doing 3 days at Universal.
Oh, that's gonna be epic.
Yeah, so we're doing
so tired.
We're gonna have 1 day off.
Yeah, you're gonna be.
We're gonna fly out Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or it's like we fly out on Saturday. We do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday at Disney. We stay on Disney property. We move Wednesday over to the Universal property, and then we do Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Universal. And not only that, we're figuring we're probably going to do the new park on the Thursday when we go to Universal.
Yep.
Which means we're going to do the main park on Friday, and we're going to do Horror Night that night. So we're going to be freaking exhausted.
Yeah, it'll be so worth it, but you're going to be so tired.
I'm going to be dead.
But there's one other thing that we got to do that I got to share with you. We went to McDonald's there, right? That is the only McDonald's remaining that still serves a McPizza. We got a pizza from McDonald's, sir. And my wife got a Philly cheesesteak, which is as good as you'd imagine.
It's McDonald's food, so I'm not...
It's McDonald's food. No,
I'm familiar with the McPizza. I grew up in the generation of the McPizza.
Well, now the fact that we live so close to Roswell with the UFO McDonald's, and we've done the McDonald's over the highway, and now I've been to the McDonald's that serves McPizza.
Which is disappointing to me nowadays. Well, maybe you've never done it, but it was like that whole floor was the McDonald's.
Used to be, yeah, from what I understand. But now I think it's just a thing where I have to go to like unique
all the
McDonald's
weird McDonald's. You got to go to the one in Pennsylvania because it's like a fine dining restaurant style. It is ridiculous.
Yes, I would so do that. That sounds amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, but anyway, I could go on for quite some time. It was a magical experience, but Orlando Studios, Universal Studios. I always call it Orlando Studios. Super fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to go myself. So
yeah, you'll have a blast. All right, let's get into today's episode. We have a board game brainstorm for 7 Wonders Duel.
I hate my life. That was rough.
It was. It really was. So I did this, sometimes I do these at work. I had to, actually go out of my way and, look in my game room. It's like, man, I could do that. I don't know.
I had to look through my physical phone of all the games I've played. Yeah. I had to be I was like, okay, first, I can't do just strictly 2-player games.
Right.
I didn't do, 7 Wonders or 7 Wonders Architect because, that's too easy.
Right.
I didn't do the freaking Lord of the Rings version of 7 Wonders Duel because that's kind of cheating as well. So.
I didn't do any 7 Wonders either. I actually don't even have any Bruno Cathala games. I don't even have any dual version of games. on here. I have 2-player games. Don't get me wrong.
I have 2-player games. I don't have another dual version of the games. I do have a Cthulhu on here.
So, like, I mean, shout-outs, like, it could be, like, Azul Duel, or King of Tokyo Duel, or Splendor Duel, or whatever, right? Any of those would probably be fine for you.
Yeah.
But these games, we're going to have to really... I won't speak for you. I'm going to have to justify quite a few of these.
I'm gonna explain why these are on my list, because what Seven Wonders Duels, it's so unique at what it does. It has a drafting. It has like a tug of war aspect of it, but it's not just the only thing in there. Right. So it has all this little balancing act that you have to do playing this game. It's like, how do you describe this in board gaming? So
yeah. So let's talk about what Seven Wonders Duel is and why it was a thing. First off, Seven Wonders came out like 2011 or so, 2010. Kennerspiel de Jahres winner, and it's a drafting game where you're building up one of the 7 wonders.
Antoine
Bauza, yep. And you go over 3 ages. Each age, you draft a series of cards, pass them along. You have 7 cards, obviously, because it's 7
One of your
wonders.
favorite
pick and pass drafting, sure.
Mechanisms.
Yeah, I mean, and this game was crazy popular. I mean, like,
it was super popular. My gripe with Seven Wonders is everybody called it a gateway game.
Yeah, it's not. Y'all are liars. But it also plays consistently up to 7 people, which is crazy good.
And it plays pretty
3
decently.
to 7.
When we're talking about like our, what is it, in our ease of play where it's the length of time and scaling well, this plays pretty simply.
45 minutes easy for all player counts.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? The original 7 Wonders had a 2-player variant where one person would pass to like a dead hand, and then you just like discard a card randomly. And everyone who played it all agreed
that was this is dummy
trash.
Player crap. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it didn't work. It made one player have no choices versus another player who had to make way more work to do it. Like it was frustrating. It was extra rules, like a whole page of rules just to try and clarify it. So what they did, apparently...
Is they called Bruno Cathala.
They called Bruno Cathala. No, so apparently Bruno Cathala and Antoine Bauza were on a flight together.
Yeah, I know. But
and started talking about, like, how can we...
When you want a 2-player game of something that's massive, you call Bruno Cathala.
Yeah, but this was the first. This was before you knew it, right?
Yeah.
And, yeah, Bruno Cathala fixed it and made Seven Wonders Duel. Now, this is not an easier game. This is significantly more difficult, but arguably more strategic. Because it's a 2-player only game. You normally deal out the cards in kind of like a pyramid-esque pattern.
And they change each age.
Yeah, each age is a different pattern. Some cards are face down, some are face up. And what happens is you can only draft a card on the bottom of a row or column that is completely uncovered. If that reveals another card, you flip it face up, that's what the other player can choose from.
Yep.
You're trading up. And the other big difference is it's not just whoever gets most points. There's 3 ways to win. In the original game, it has technology, and it has advancements, and it has sciences, and victory points. But they're all different ways to get points.
Yeah.
This one, if you exceed at warfare, or you exceed at the sciences, you can win the game.
A science victory, a war victory, and then points victory.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so it's whoever has the most, or whoever reaches one of the 2 first. Or at the end of the game, whoever has the most points will win the game. So... it replaced Seven Wonders for me.
Oh, yeah. It replaced Seven Wonders. Now, I only own Seven Wonders now. I do have Architects.
Yes. Seven Wonder Architects is a brilliantly elegant game.
And then I also have I don't have Seven Wonders Duel anymore. I have the Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle Earth, which is really fantastic. I really like that one a lot.
I need to try that sometime.
Yeah, it is really good. And the reason being is because I don't play a lot of 2-player games at home.
I know you hate them. Yeah.
You know,
listeners to the podcast.
They know that I hate 2-player games. Yep. It's just that my wife won't play 2-player games with me, and most of my groups that when I do play gaming is 3 or more.
We have more than 2 players.
So it's like
rare that we don't have.
I have very limited space. I can't keep a lot of 2-player games. That is my gripe about 2-player games. Or as you put it, I hate them. Yeah. It's just I don't have room for them because they're not going to get played.
No, that makes sense. So I have on my list, we'll go over our G.A.M.E.R criteria, and we'll talk about why we're making these recommendations. Together, Daniel and I will recommend up to 10 different games.
Yep. We may have crossover.
We may.
I think maybe 1.
Yeah, maybe 1.
Maybe 2, but it's kind of pushing it because this
I doubt.
This is one of the most difficult ones we did.
Right. And so Each of the G.A.M.E.R criteria will go through, explain what it is, and why we're making this recommendation. So, shall we begin?
Let's begin.
All right, we're going to start with G for game immersion. Oh no, I dropped the coin of doom. Let's
Man down.
Backup coin of doom. Here we go. And you'll be starting us off.
All right, so for game immersion, we're talking about, is the game fun to lose? Does it have player interaction either by table talk or role playing? Or does it have memorable moments? In this one, this was a tough one for me, because there's a lot of stuff that on this list could fit in this category because it's all about that experience. Getting into the game, getting into that role playing, getting into, is the game fun to lose? Most of the games I have on here, I have no problem losing. In fact, I probably lost every single one of these games. But the reason I went with this specific game is because, one, it hits the 2-player mark. 2, it plays very strategically when it comes to card play, because that is the whole point of Seven Wonders Duel, is you have to play smart with the cards that are dealt to you, in a sense. In Seven Wonders Duel, you have to draft the cards, but it's like, do I take that one, which can help me, or do I take this one away for that can hurt you, can help me, and it doesn't allow something to flip up for you to take, and that could immediately help you. So you're worried about those face-down cards. And so you're having to make that strategic push and pull. It's like, I could take this one because this one's really going to help me, but that's going to flip something up that could help you. Or I could take this away from you, which will help me get that science victory away, or I can move that military track up. So the one I went with is another 2-player game. In fact, it's older than this one, but it's still in print. And I went with Twilight Struggle from GMT Games.
Okay.
It's smart card play. There's push and pull aspect of it. It's mainly the warfare aspect. One person's playing the USSR, the other person's playing the United States. There's that fun little push and pull aspect of where you're trying to do. It's 2-player only, so there's that. And I liked everything about this one. It gives you that feel. You get into that role. I'm the USSR. I got to make sure I have all this in the Eastern Bloc over here in in Europe, because I got to make sure I control this. Oh no, he's making inroads to China. I got to play these cards to stop America from going into China. So that's why I went with Twilight Struggle. I think it hits every point. Is the game fun to lose? It does have a lot of player interaction because you're watching, like, you almost beat me by going straight into Europe and trying to control 3 major areas of Europe. And I'm like, nope, got to do this. And I had to set up my cards just right. This way I can pull things away from you, and it leads to all those things. That nice little aspect where you're getting into the roles that you're playing, more so than you would in Seven Wonders Duel. The only really role you're playing is like, I got to build the pyramids. Right. So for game immersion, I went with Twilight Struggle.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, we need to play this one again.
Yeah, it was a fun one. Yeah.
All right, so with game immersion, I thought about fun to lose. Like, you could still feel clever. You know, there's a lot of give and take with it. Player interaction. Seven Wonders Duel is fairly themeless.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much.
That's why I went Twilight Struggle.
Like, you're very loosely building the wonders. That's kind of what it is. But memorable moments, like, it all boils down to right at the end where you're like, oh, did you work it out right at the end here? And it always feels like a nail biter throughout it. So I found a game that has all of those. There's technically 3 different tracks to victory. And you're building a pyramid in it. And it's a 2-player head-to-head game where you're drafting from a pyramid. It's called Pyramid Poker from R&R Games.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
No. But I did want to make sure a caveat for me as well is I wanted to make sure every game I give a recommendation, it can be found in stores to this day. Every single one of these games I have can be
I cannot promise that. I just give recommendations for other games you might like. Seek out if you think it makes sense.
Oh, no, I agree with that.
Right.
I keep that caveat to
I
myself.
can't promise Pyramid Poker is in stock. I don't know. It's from R&R Games from quite some time ago, and I really liked it. Yeah, so what this is you have these little, like, almost Jenga tiles, right? These wooden blocks that have playing cards on it. And on your turn, you're going to take one of them, and you're going to look at it, and you're going to place it somewhere in the pyramid. And you and your opponent...
Fairly themeless, like you said.
Yeah, fairly themeless. And you have this big pyramid, and you're just building it up with these blocks. Some of the cards will face you, some of the cards will face your opponent. Now, here's the thing. You can only ever look at the cards that are facing you, and since it's stacked up between you and your opponent, they can see the ones that are facing them. And then, after the pyramid is built, then you take turns taking a single tile that is uncovered, just like in Seven Wonders Duel, and you place it in one of 3 hands. And you're trying to build good poker hands on those 3 hands. Because you have to draw a tile, and you have to put it on one of your 3 hands.
Yep.
Your goal to win the game is to beat 2 of those 3 poker hands. Standard poker rules, like of hierarchy and all that stuff. But the fact that you could pick any of the tile cards that are facing away from you or towards you. You know what some of them are. Some of them you're like, I don't know if this is good or not. You draw it, and then you put it in the hand, build up the best hand you can. It's super clever. And I have always liked that, and I basically wanted it for a wooden deck of cards. I think that's hilarious, but the game itself leads you to like, okay, this has some really cool thought. Every tile I pick, I can put it in one of my 3 cards, but I must put it in those hands.
Yeah.
If you know how poker works, you know how some of the hierarchies can work. I might have a pair, but if you're getting 2 pair, but they're lower ranked, like that might have thrown me off at first, and then now you're getting a pair of aces in there, and you're going to outrank me. You know, it's super neat how it works. Again, I don't know if it's in stock, but I remember it wasn't that expensive back when it was being published.
And you can still find it in resale places. Like, my wife was most recently at a game store in Pasadena, and I saw a copy of it in the resale pile. So
yeah, exactly. And it's just a clever little game. If you like the 2-player head-to-head, and if you like poker, then it's a cool way to do it. So Pyramid Poker, that's my game for game immersion. Again, we had to stretch for some of these.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is going to be a bit rough.
That's right. All right. I'll start off on the next one. Art and production. So this is talking about the art, like the
which is
theming.
subjective.
Yeah, it is subjective, sure. But arguably, Seven Wonders has beautiful art and good iconography, which goes into graphic design. And finally, we have pieces and components. This is another 2-player game that I think...
Hey, guess what? Mine's a 2-player game, too.
What?
Shock.
This one has... some cool pieces. It has a bunch of cardboard tokens and a really nice deck of cards that you're going to be using. This one is a 2-player head-to-head game, and I picked it because I really am charmed by both editions of the art on this. Specifically the new edition that's available now. It's very clear, very easy to read, and it even has a coin so you can flip to see who goes first, and that's like the start player marker. And this is from the 2-player line from Space Cowboys. This is G.A.M.E.R, the new version. The old version also had pretty decent art. It was
a smuggled panda.
And it had a smuggled dead panda, which is hilarious. Every game should have a smuggled dead panda somewhere in it. I think that's hilarious. But, yeah, G.A.M.E.R, I rant and rave about this game. It's one of my favorite 2-player games of all time. And I just think it's just so clever. I think this could have easily fit in any of these categories, honestly. Because that is my go-to. If you like Seven Wonders Duel, you should try G.A.M.E.R.
Yeah.
You know, I think those go really hand in hand really well.
Yeah.
But
G.A.M.E.R was on my short list too.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's gonna be on your list, so I'll leave it alone.
Yeah. And I picked it for art and production because again, the art is actually really good.
Really good art, yeah.
And good graphic design. It's clear what you're doing. It's clear why you're doing what you're doing. You know, it's not complicated and all the pieces just make sense for what they need to do. And they have really good cardboard tokens. So there you go. G.A.M.E.R. Art and production.
So my art production pick here is Hear Me Out.
Okay.
Is a 2-player game. One of your favorite games.
Okay.
This is got a lot of great components. The artwork is okay. It's fine in this game. There is campaign-ish to it. Just recently got an expansion. This is a 2-player co-op game known as Sky Team. And the reason why I went this one...
I will hear you out.
Because... Seven Wonders Duel, it's all about that push and pull. All about that, but a lot of people don't like it because some people just don't like that head-to-head. But you want to feel that tension. It's like, if I pull this off, it's going to be really, really cool. And Sky Team has the great components, the great dice, the screens, and stuff like that. And what I like about it, it has that whole thing where you have to make sure you're balancing the plane with your partner. And so you have to be careful with how you put your dice out there, just like how careful you draw those cards up, because that card laying under could be the one that gives the opponent the victory in Seven Wonders Duel. So it's like, I got this 6. Where am I going to put this 6 to make sure that doesn't go too fast, make sure that doesn't balance, and make sure that doesn't spin us in a loop-de-loop. So that's why I went with Sky Team. First off, fantastic art. Especially that cover. That cover is some good cover art there. Yeah,
it is.
The component quality of this game for a 2-player game is through the roof, and that's why it's a little bit more pricey than most 2-player games because of those modified dice.
Cheaper than, or it's not any
more expensive than Seven Wonders.
Seven Wonders Duel is just as much.
What I like about it is, like I said earlier, it brings that co-op aspect. Sometimes there's couples that don't want to go to head-to-head. Maybe someone is like super competitive. You have that great balance where you're working as a team trying to land this flight. And like I was saying earlier about the campaign style, it changes the rules as you're going up. And that's what some of the expansions do in Seven Wonders Duel. It changes the rules as you're advancing. And I like it because there's a lot of moving parts in there, because it's that push and pull, that balancing act, that where you got to use your dice, but you got to be careful how they come up, because it's like if I put a 2 here and my partner doesn't put the right die there, we could screw up the in there. Or in my case, when I did play it on a plane, we crashed because we barrel rolled. There was too much differences between the 2 dice that you have to balance the plane. You want to relatively play the same die, and my partner put a 1 there and I put a 6 there, and we just went off the track on that side. So I love that push and pull. That's why I went with Sky Team.
So can I agree and disagree with you?
Yeah, sure.
And
that's why it's in my art production.
I 100% agree with this pick. First off, for every other category in this. Art and production has some fiddly components just because the little switches are super cheap, little chintzy little cardboard things, and the planes are tiny and all that stuff. It's not bad production. I'm just like, I agree with like game immersion, meaningful choice, ease of play. Like all of these would make sense.
It makes sense in there because of the pieces and components in the graphic design. That's the main thing. Is the graphic, the pieces, the dice are the main driving force of this game, and the dice are fantastic.
Sure.
And the graphic design, it's very legible, very readable, just like Seven Wonders Duel is.
Yeah. And
that's the main reason I put it in here. Plus, my other categories, they fit so much better there.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I get that. I mean, like, again, mine was Jaipur could fit in any of those. Right? Where it's
again, you're giving me crap, and you put Pyramid Poker.
I'm not, okay, but I didn't put Pyramid Poker in art and production.
You put it in game immersion. That is the most themeless game out there.
It's just as thematic as Seven Wonders Duel. Let's be real. Like, can you imagine the people who built those original Seven Wonders were looking at a stack of cards in a weirdly shaped pyramid and going, if only I could get that card that's up there. Like, there's no, what does that make sense?
I know.
You know? So, I adore this game, and I really love Sky Team a lot. This is easily top 10 Spiel des Jahres winners for me. Like, I adore it.
You play it more than me, so you know how fiddly the things are, but when I played it, I found the pieces and components fine. I mainly picked the graphic design is really legible in this game.
Yeah, it's good.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's why I went in here.
All right.
Meaningful choice.
Meaningful choice. Here we go. That'll be me. So, meaningful choice. This is talking about the impact on other players, whether it's working together or against each other, the depth of strategy, tactics, or skills, how well you adapt to your situations, and do arbitrary choices or impact make the game, or have an impact on the game in a negative way. So, with this one, this Seven Wonders Duel takes about 45 minutes. It is a very strategic game. It's very much head-to-head because everything you pick, because you have to pick something on your turn, will either prevent somebody from getting it or unlock something else that they could potentially get. And that doesn't mean that the cards always lay out in a way that benefits you, but there's some hard choices. Like, you could say, I need this thing for me to complete this, but if I do that, that's going to give you a huge option. Mm-hmm. And that give and take is really interesting.
Yep.
So the one that I picked, and this is almost certainly not in print anymore, but the one I recommended is Spirits of the Wild from Mattel. And this is a 2-player...
Wow.
Yeah, this is a 2-player, another head-to-head game where you have stones that you're loading into a bowl. And these stones have different colors. And each of the players have 2 different... or 2 scoring tracks. Boards, sorry, not tracks, but they score in different ways. And what you're doing is you're trying to pull those stones using your actions and placing them on these different spirits to try and score them in different ways. Like, some might want all of the same colors, some might want different, some might want combinations and whatnot, and some might be contingent. Now, you have a series of action cards that you could take, and when you choose that action, you flip it down, take the action. Some will be like, take a single stone. Some will be take multiple stones. Some will say load some stones randomly to the bowl first, which again opens up those options for the other player. Normally they'll help you out because you'll get more choices, and you might really need to get like those certain ones to score in certain ways, and that makes it really fundamental on how you're going to do it. Also, you could have 2 special spirit animals that are different and unique for each one, which is pretty cool. And then, on top of that, you have 2 cards that when you flip them over, you move the Coyote, which effectively blocks one of your opponent's spots, which is really interesting as well.
Is he chasing the Roadrunner?
Meep. The Spirits of the Wild. Meep. Brought to you by Looney Tunes. Well, it's funny because like there's a lot of that give and take where it's like, oh, if I leave this turquoise stone in here, then you might get that. But there's also these spirit stones where there's 5 of them in the game. And when you take those, you place it on one of your spirits, and that will double its score. However, you can no longer put stones on that ever again.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to take the number of stones that you choose the action for, even if that means taking some of those spirit stones. But when 5 of the spirit stones comes out, the game is over immediately. It doesn't outstay its welcome. There's a lot of give and take. It's palatable where you can be like, okay, well, I can see you're going for this one, so I kind of want to take this one, but this doesn't help me here, so maybe I'll put it in this spot. But if I don't fill this out, then I'm not going to score it anyway, so that's not really helpful to me. It's really easy to have those tactics of how everything changes. If you load up a stone that I really want, I'm going to be muttering under my breath, like, don't take that, don't take that, don't take that, you know, which is kind of the same option in Seven Wonders Duel. And, again, it's really simple because you have the same actions in front of you. You just either do or don't take stones, right? Mm-hmm. And it plays in like 15 minutes. It's super quick. So, Spirits of the Wild by Mattel. I hope this comes back into print. It's a really interesting game. You can probably find it used pretty easily, but yeah. I don't think it's in print anymore.
Well, so the one I'm picking here for my meaningful choice is in print, and I know for a fact you haven't played it yet. At least I don't think you have. I have been mentioning you should try this one out. It's another 2-player game.
I do like 2 players.
And this one I do enjoy a lot because of one simple thing. Multi-use cards. Okay. And that one's always... Someone tells me that, I'm going to be intrigued by it. And this is a Scott Alms game. This one's called Beer in Bread.
Oh, yeah. No, I haven't played this one yet.
And the reason why I went in meaningful choice is because it does impact other player strategy because you're trying to gather resources, but you're also trying to be smart of how you're doing it because you're both making beer in bread. And whatever you score the lowest of is your score. And so it's one of those things where you're trying to balance and make both your scoring piles even based on the beer or based on the bread. And it's fantastic how this works. You're using your cards in a plethora of ways. To collect resources or to use it as, like, I believe it's like recipes or stuff like that to help you get the thing. And you're playing over a set amount of rounds. In some rounds, you'll have a lot of stuff. In other rounds, like every other round, it's basically like a famine or something like that. There's not a lot of resources coming out, and you're going down this river and you're trying to do all this and you're trying to get these things and you're just like, oh, I'm doing really good here, but man, I really need to concentrate over there now because I've got my points here. I need to get these points climbed up because this is where it's going to be. And you have that balancing act. You're taking stuff away from your opponent. You're trying to gather all the resources. Oh, look, that's all there. And I know the next round's going to be a famine, so maybe I should save these over because of my storage house. So maybe I should build the storage house right now so I can store more out. And so it's that little push and pull, and it's fantastic. There's just a lot of crunchy bits in there, and you're playing your cards out for this, or you're playing your cards out for that, or you're doing it because it gives you this building, or you're doing it because, hey, look, this is a special ability I can use later on. So I love everything about that. It gives you a lot of that meaningful choice that you get in Seven Wonders. Like, do I take the military card now to, one, move that down a little bit this way later on? Something can come up later for me, or we're getting closer to getting the card that I really want, which is in 2 or 3 rows back. So it's that push and pull. It's like, I'm going to use this because it allows me 2 steps ahead to do what I need to do. And I like that aspect. And that's why I went with Beer and Bread. I think it's Capstone that did this one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Out of a 2-player game, I would not mind owning this one.
Cool. I'm going to try this one then. Cool. On to our next one. This is Ease of Play. Me again. This coin likes me. All right. Ease of Play is talking about the simplicity and familiarity of the mechanism, like how well do you recognize it and how well do you can fundamentally understand it when you first learn how to play it. Likelihood to get to the table, whether that's mechanism or theme, and easy to learn, understand, and or teach. And okay, so this is the actual Hear Me Out one. This is my only not 2-player game. And so,
hey, guess what? This is my only not 2-player game.
Oh, there you go. All right. Maybe we'll have a crossover.
But it's not a Hear Me Out.
Yeah. No, this is definitely a Hear Me Out. So we need to have a little sign that just says Hear Me Out. Let me explain this real quick. No, so this one is the one that I struggle with the most, and I realized that the big thing about this in Seven Wonders, the ease of play, it's not super fundamental, but effectively you're just drawing cards, and you have a number of different actions that you can do with those cards, right? Mm-hmm. So if it's like the yellow ones, you're probably going to be getting coins or benefits, right?
Yeah.
If it's one of the resource cards, you need those to build other things. There's gonna be like the victory point cards that are just flat victory points, which is a potential win game. You have military, which you're going to be having that head-to-head tug of war. You have the sciences, which will get you like little abilities and stuff. Mm-hmm. And there's a bit of engine building as you're just taking these cards. So, but it's really just kind of smart card play. So I was like, what game has fairly simple engine building card-based game? So I went with Castles of Tuscany for this one. And that's about as much as I can justify it, because each of the cards are just different resources. You're trying to trade them in to build your engine. The more you build on a certain engine, the more you're able to build those cards and kind of build these tiles onto your little map. And each of those gives you abilities that will help progress you. Now, this is one of those games where it's all you're doing is getting points, so there's no multiple paths to victory. But the route that you take to victory, you could focus on just engine building. You could focus on resource management. You could focus on building out your map really quickly and getting card manipulation in a way where that'll help you get those points faster and irk you towards victory a little bit more. So again, that's a Hear Me Out. It does play up to 4 players, which is cool. And it is fairly easy to understand. But just like Seven Wonders, it does look intimidating at first. But it also plays in about 45 minutes, and you get a pretty satisfying card play feel out of it. So yep. That's my justification.
All right. My ease of play is also a multiplayer game other than 2. Goes up to 4, I believe. Funny enough, it is a smaller version of another game.
Okay.
Made by Bruno Cathala. It is drafting and tableau building.
Is this the Conspiracy?
Yeah, okay. The Abyss universe is what it's called.
So I haven't played this one yet.
I do like this one a lot. And it's very simple. The mechanism is you either draft from the discard pile or you pull 3 cards and draft from one of those cards. And then they stay in the discard pile, which makes more options for other people later on. And you're basically trying to seat them in your council. You're basically building the council of whoever's going to... And you're trying to group certain council members together because you're going to get your points for your largest group. You're also trying to group them to a certain way. This way they can unlock certain things for you. You're going to try to get locations by meeting certain requirements. You're also trying to turn in your keys. But there's certain abilities where they're locked behind things unless you use something to... But you can also start manipulating your tableau based on some of the powers that they have by moving this card into this section over here now, because you can manipulate 2 cards, or it allows you to shift things or move things, and you're just building a reverse pyramid based on your characters that are coming down. You're getting lord powers, you're getting location powers, everything you get pretty much in Abyss. Yep. You're getting it in this little card game, and it is a little card game, so much so I can keep it in a photo box. That's how small it is and how much table presence. Plays really well at 2, plays really well at 4. Pretty quick turns, real quick, snappy game. It's a shorter game to basically Abyss. Like I said, it has a fantastic drafting mechanism. It's like I could take one of the cards that are in there, or I can put more cards out and take one of those cards. But now the things I don't take is for up to grabs. And if I reveal something my opponent is going for, like a certain lord that they want to get into their council because of the grouping thing, that could be hurtful. It's like, oh God, no, I put 2 out there for you, so you're going to pick one of those for sure. I got to hope my neighbor over here is going to take one of those cards away from you, because if they stay out there, I'm going to have to take it when it comes back to me. This way, you don't have 4 or 5 of that grouping in there. And so, yeah, I love everything about this game. My wife found this in, funny enough, in Olympia, where she was last week, but about a year or 2 ago, and I've enjoyed the mess out of this game. And it fits every single one of the criteria when it comes to ease of play, because I'm going to get it to the table a lot. Likelihood to get to the table based on the mechanism, drafting mechanism, easily. Well done. Striking art, very colorful. And plus, you're talking about building a council underwater, and people are like, really? What?
What does that even mean?
It's easy to teach. It's easy to understand. The only thing about the understanding part of it is just the scoring. But if you have one person that knows how to score it, or you use an app like BG Stats that has the score pad for you, it does all the work for you. Very simple. Actually, I basically described the game. You're picking one of those cards. You're just trying to put them in a row to get the points. And I'll explain how the points work here when I have the rules in front of me. I don't have the rules in front of me, so I can't really explain. But it's basically, you're just trying to get a large grouping, and you're trying to meet certain requirements to draw things in here to get you points. Cool. It's a really simple game. I like it a lot, and that is Conspiracy: The Abyss Universe.
All right. And then finally, we have replay value.
And when we're talking about replay value, length of time and scaling well, a game that's going to play pretty quickly based on the player count. Minimum number of plays for the full experience, and expandability, whether it has expansions that have been confirmed by the publisher, or we're giving them basically one if there's something else that says Volume 1. Mm-hmm. And the one I went with here is, I'm surprised you didn't put this on your list, and it might be here, is a 2-player cooperative game that is all about smart card play when you're playing it.
It is not.
You know which one I'm talking about?
I don't know which one you're talking about.
But because I said smart card play.
This is smart card play.
Where you're trying to manipulate dice. This is Kinfire Delve.
Oh, okay.
Once again, it's another co-op one. And what I like about this one, too, it's along the lines of Seven Wonders Duel, where, again, going back to that drafting and that push and pull. You're going to use the cards in your hand either to help your partner or play it for yourself. And it's like, okay, but this really gives you a bonus pool to help drop down this pile to keep diving deeper before we can get to the final boss that we're going to fight. So, like, do I save this for myself or do I save it for my partner? And so you have to have that really dynamic gameplay when it comes to this one. It's like, oh, this is going to be really good for me, but you need it right now. So here, now you got an extra one of the green color to help mitigate those dice. Especially when you get into that final boss fight, is like, green is the only one we have where we can start fighting this guy. So right now, you're not doing anything and you're playing out your green cards. Here, have another green card. I'll help you out there. This way, it gives you a bonus +3 or whatever to your green roll and stuff like that. I love everything about it. It is co-op. It is smart card play. It has one expansion, I guess, but it expand alone. So you can play, there's 3 of them. You can pick which one you want, and you can integrate them with each other. So it works really well on that. You have all these different sets. And it's a great solo game, but it's also fantastic at 2 players. And I think if you have more than one set, you can play with more players.
Yeah, you can play up to 4.
Yeah, if you have 2 sets. So that was by far one of the easiest ones to go on my list here, and that was Kinfire Delve, because it meets a lot of the requirements that you get in Seven Wonders Duel. It is unique enough, and it does have that fun, smart card play that you expect from Seven Wonders Duel. It's like, and the push and pull is like, do I save this for myself or do I help my partner out? Yep. So, Kinfire Delve.
This is the one that I'm surprised you didn't have on your list, actually, is this one. This is a 2-player game. It is smart card play, resource management. You are playing versus against the other player. However, the places you place your worker prevent your opponent from placing it on the grid. That is a modular board of a 5x5 grid. You know which one I'm talking about now. Right?
I think so. It's the worker placement one?
Targi.
Yeah.
Yep, Targi. So
the reason I didn't have it on my list is just because I liked all these. It was on my short list. It was one of the ones on my short list.
Right. It's one of those 2-player games that is a little bit longer. I mean, same length of time. Scaling, it's the same number of players. So I had to pick a 2-player game that plays about 45 minutes to an hour, right? This one, minimum number of players. There's so, like, you see everything.
And expansion.
And an expansion. You see everything, but at the same time, the way it changes and the way the board is modular, and the cards you take and the actions you take get replaced with the opposite action is just so cool how it works. This hits the replayability. Like, if Seven Wonders Duel is like the evergreen game that gets played between you and your spouse, and you like that same feeling, Targi is worth looking at because it has that same... I don't think it'll replace it, but I think those live next to each other in parallel because you can play it at any time. You'll get just as much play out of both of them. You'll have so many different choices, the way everything feeds out, and the way that you choose to act against your opponent or block what they need or get the benefits you need to manipulate the actions that you need to do. it's super cool. I'm genuinely still impressed with it. I want to play it again now that I'm talking about it, and one of my favorite games on this list. So, Targi, that is for my replay value.
Yeah, so Targi was on my short list. The reason I didn't put it on my list because I kind of figured it was going to be on your list. Same with Jar-Port. Targi was one of that kind of push and pull.
I rant and rave about those all the time.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I wanted to talk about all these other games. Sure. And that was another reason they didn't get on my list. Yeah. But the other game that I do have on my short list that I just put there to remind myself to talk about is another one that is multiplayer, but it is legitimately some smart card drafting game. But it's not really in print. It's kind of hard to find. And this is Inuit the Snowfolk. I just recently played it again. Sure. And that will hit a lot of what you're going for. If you want to play something like Seven Wonders Duel, but multiplayer, where up to 4 players, Inuit will hit just what you want. Because it's all about the drafting. You're scouting as many cards as you have scouts, and you're picking stuff up and put it in there. So it just is another one that hit my short list that I kind of wanted to throw out there.
Sure. Yeah, I don't blame you. Cool. Yeah, I had a few that I thought about, like the Match of the Century, right?
Yeah.
Super smart card play.
The Rome one was another one I thought about.
Caesar.
Caesar, Rome in 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Caesar Rome in 20 minutes.
I thought about Onitama at one point. I looked at my 2-player shelf. I was like, man, there's some good stuff up here.
Yeah, so I'm like, Onitama was another one on my short list, but I was like, if we were doing more of an abstracted game, then Onitama would probably be on my list.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. So we hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you ever want to contact us directly, you certainly can. We have an email address, everydayboardgames2020@gmail.com. That gives away what year we started. So whether you want to email us, tell us hello, or ideas for future episodes, or enter in future contests that we may or may not be doing in the future. Also, we have an Instagram, instagram.com/everydayboardgames. Go check it out. We post some of the games that we've been playing, some random stuff that I tend to post, and whatever random stuff that we think is board game related and fun.
And before we finish this out, because it's on our Instagram, I want to congratulate my partner here who just got a new review and hit an actual big one too. Yeah. Because you got a Dice Tower seal of approval for your most recent game, Ravel. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's worth check it out. If you like logic puzzles, it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm biased, of course. Again. But Dice Tower approved it. Every review that I've seen so far has been, a good, solid review. Yeah. And right now it's currently running, I think, a 7.7 on Board Game Geek from all the ratings. So nice. Which is not insignificant.
All right, back to the outro. All video re-uploads and reviews are found on YouTube under youtube.com/@everydayboardgames. And if you like what we do, there are 3 things you can do to help us grow on the platform. Subscribe if you're not, like the video, and comment down below and tell us your thoughts on the subject.
And also, we stream our episodes live at twitch.tv/everydayboardgames. We love it when people join us in. Normally, it's on Mondays of each week. Sometimes that changes. But if you follow us there, then it'll be notified whenever we stream live. It is free to watch us, and we love people joining in on the conversation, like our friend Illuminous this week, and anybody else who joined us today.
And all audio versions can be found on most podcast platforms under Everyday Board Games Podcast. This includes Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, and Apple.
So we want to thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I've been your host, Daniel.
And I've been your host, Daniel.
And we want to thank you for listening to Everyday Board Games.
And remember, every day is a good day for board gaming.